G'day and welcome back to Shaving Down Under. It's a nice Monday afternoon, as you can see outside. Beautiful autumn day. It's a public holiday here in South Australia, so yesterday was ANZAC Day, and since that fell on a Sunday, the public holiday was carried over onto the Monday. So I didn't do a shave yesterday, because I had to work, and today I thought about going to the shop, but I'm not going to do it now, and I don't need too nice a day. So we will shave with an Australian shaving soap from All Body Soaps, and Dee, she makes excellent shaving creams, and this is the double mint. And last time I shaved with the Yacht Club, which was just one of the freshest scented soaps I've ever used. It was amazing, beautiful soap for summer. Just let you have a look at the tin. So that's what the tin looks like, and this is full to the brim, and there you go there, and it just smells like mint, a peppermint or spearmint chewy. It's yeah, it's as mint can be. And we are going to shave today with this, and this just arrived in the nick of time last Friday, and we'll let you look inside. So there it is. So it was a lot dirtier when it rocked up. I'll try and put before and after photos in the description, in the video, so you can see how I cleaned it up. Pretty much used an ultrasonic cleaner, and everything came up beautiful. So that is a bulldog razor that's inside, and I've loaded it up with some Derby premium blades. Just get my hand behind it so it focuses. And what else can I tell you? And we'll finish it off with David Lee Naturals Manly Mint aftershave splash or lotion, not really sure what you call it, but anyway. Okay, let's see, I think we've got it all, so I'll prepare. So just using a guitar pick just to scoop out some of the cream. I'm not really sure much to use, but that'll do. So there we've got some nice lather going in the bowl. I'm using my Zenith horsehair shave brush. I'm using that in memory of all the horses that served in World War One for the Australians, the whalers they were called. Tough horses, and I think only one ever came back. They all got left overseas or put down when the soldiers who looked after them had to return home. So pretty sad sort of story. But it is what happened, so it's a pity that it happened that way. Okay, so let's lather up. So you can really smell the mint with this. And a nice thick lather. So this was, I believe, a World War One officer's shaving kit. I never thought I'd get hold of one of these, and I have, and I'm also negotiating for a second one. So it's got a little bit of bite, as you'd expect with this type of open comb razor. So it's a very keen shave. Just noticing there the soap is dissolving, the lather is dissolving. Which is not something all body soaps do. They are all natural soap. Usually the lather sits up a bit longer than this. I'll whip it up a bit more in the bowl for the second pass. So we'll do that before the second pass. Okay, see how we go. Now, as you Gillette people would know, for World War One, there was the khaki set, the Navy set, and the military, the officers set. So in Australia, I don't think any of the Australian troops had Gillettes, because I don't think Gillette had really come into Australia at that stage. I think Gillette came into Australia after World War One, probably around 1920. And the reason why I say that is if you look at the backs of those metal cases that Gillette released the first 15 years of life up to around 1920, Australia's not mentioned in the patents. So, and in saying that, we probably came under Great Britain at that stage, so that could be one of the reasons why. But yeah, you don't seem to find too many vintage Gillettes from that time floating around in Australia and on eBay and in the antique shops and things like that. Oh, there's a big horsehair. That's what happens with new horsehair and boar brushes. They do shed occasionally until they settle down. So I'd just like to mention one little bit of military history. I'll just be sort of brief about it, and then I'll leave links in the description where you can follow it up in more in depth. But I'm going to go to Australia's involvement in Vietnam, and most notably the Battle of Long Tan. It's bleeding a bit there, isn't it? So it took place 18th of August 1966, and it took place in a rubber plantation. and it was near the abandoned village of Long Tan, so hence its name. It's fought between the Viet Cong, the People's Army of Vietnam, and elements of the 1st Australian Task Force. I must say I'm a little bit disappointed with this lot of soap. It's dissolving quickly, and this is what I'm not used to from this company. So the Aussies found themselves heavily outnumbered with the Vietnamese or the Viet Cong, and trying to encircle the Aussies to wipe them out. So I guess that's what you do in war. I'm just going to be adding soap as I shave. Nick myself again. It's pretty keen shave with this razor. I think that's the quickest I've ever shaved against the grain on my top lip, ever. She's got some bite. Okay, so just before I do the last pass, I'll just read a little bit because it was too much for me to just remember. So it was during the afternoon that they were, don't know if you'd say they were ambushed, but they just ran into big trouble. And that was D Company and a couple other small platoons or companies tried to join up with them and couldn't, or if they did, it was under huge duress. And this is one bit I read I found really interesting, and just quoting straight from the tablet here. From the battle's outset, the skies opened and an intense afternoon storm added to the cacophony of noise and terror in the rubber plantation. Added to the general chaos in the plantation was the rise of mud mist. Now, I've never ever heard of mud mist till I read this, which reduced visibility and made it difficult for both sides to visually identify targets. This phenomenon was common during the Vietnam War, when monsoonal rains fell with such force that the churned red earth below splashed up to 50 centimetres high off the ground, staining all that come into contact with, further complicating the desperate situation with the loss of comms, with the 2 radios of both 10 and 11 platoons damaged in gunfire. 10 platoon was unable to reach 11 platoon. Lieutenant Kendall was ordered to withdraw his platoon to rejoin company headquarters. At this point, Lieutenant David Sabin was ordered to swing 2 sections from his 12 platoon in a southerly attempt to reach 11 platoon from a different direction. En route, Sabin's group also encountered stiff resistance and could not reach their target. A aerial strike was called in for the Americans. Does it say what? Three F-4 Phantom jets responded, and they could not identify targets on the ground and through the thick cloud, and they dropped their ordnance beyond the range of the enemy. And then 2 pilots from the Royal Australian Air Force went up in Iroquois and had more luck when they flew through atrocious weather to drop their boxes of ammunition from treetop height down to D Company, whose supply was alarmingly low. So later in the afternoon, a release force was arranged to move D Company's aid. First B Company, which was returning to Nui Dat after the earlier mission, was ordered to turn around and find D Company. And second permission was granted for armoured personnel carriers, APC, 3 APC troop to move to support D Company. And subsequently 10 APCs, the armoured personnel carriers, left Nui Dat carrying A Company, 6 Ra, and then they had a minor encounter, and just before 6 p.m. the surviving 13 members of 11 platoon were able to finally pull back. So I think there was about 2,000 Viet Cong all up, and the Vietnamese People's Army. So that's how outnumbered they were. And following half an hour saw relentless wave attacks on D Company. Fortunately for the Australians, the ground they occupied fell away slightly at their rear, which afforded some protection from the rifle and machine gun fire, which mostly passed safely over their heads. Spot of luck there. The VC attacks were determined with their courage proven by their willingness to continue the attack even as large numbers of their own troops fell. And yeah, so I'll leave the rest of it. If you want to follow up in the links that I'll provide a link for that and that story there, official Long Tan website, and also wiki as well. So let's do this last pass. Actually, you know what? This razor is that keen. It's pretty much a 2-pass razor. I could stop now. I'd be very happy. But you know me, I'll just tidy up. So it's a pretty amazing feat that what the Aussies did in that battle. And there was at least 2,000 the Vietnamese up against not a lot of 50, 60 Aussies. It wasn't many, and they took a lot of casualties in the first, I think it was half hour, first 20 minutes, I think they said, of the battle. He must have been bricking it, surely. There's also a good movie that's recently came out about the battle. It's about 12 to 18 months old now, the movie. The guy who plays Ragnar Lothbrok in Vikings, he's the star of it because he's actually an Aussie. Interesting movie. And Vietnam was an interesting war, probably for all the wrong reasons, so from the Allies' point of view. The North Koreans, or Koreans, sorry about that, the North Vietnamese are now, or Vietnam in general, consider that war a victory. And I guess they're correct. So Vietnam would be it's a country I'd like to travel to sometime in the nearish future. If you've been to Vietnamese restaurants, you know how amazing their cuisine is. And they do coffee. At one stage, a bit of useless information for you, and I don't know if this is still correct. At least 20 years ago, the largest consumers of cognac in the world were the Vietnamese in Vietnam. Now, you wouldn't have picked that. Just that little bit down there, that's always frustrating. But besides that, this razor pretty much took everything off in 2 passes. If you can get hold of one of these, depending on its condition, like if it's half decent, it's not going to be cheap. You're going to be looking at $350 US, maybe a bit more, a bit less. If you pick up one that's in rougher condition, it's going to be cheaper. I really say go for it. An amazing shave, or just a bulldog in general. Now we'll just go over the ingredients. So it's a mix. The scent is a mix of peppermint, spearmint and lime. Which is predominantly, I would say, the spearmint that I'm picking up, and then the peppermint. And I'm not sure I'm really picking up any lime, but that could be there. So the base of it's bentonite clay, glycerin, sorbitol and aloe vera gel. Plus it's got vitamin E, wheat germ, coconut, organic rosehip oil in it. And it's scented with essential oils of lime, spearmint and peppermint. As much as I've really enjoyed the last 2 soaps, the Sandalwood and the Yacht Club, this one, it'll be fine if you're using a cartridge razor. I think with a double-edged blade, it was just too much mucking around. There was no length in the lather at all. It was more soapy. It was more soapy than lather, and yeah, just disappointing. I'm sorry, D. It's one soap I can't recommend, but you know, you can still use it. It's fine, and like I've still got a great shave out. In fact, very BBS, but I would have liked to have got this shave with a thicker lather, to be honest with you, instead of always touching up as we went along. These blades, out of the new blades on the market, like these guys, I'm liking the best. They seem to give me a very good shave. Had the other nick there, but I'd say that come down to the aggressiveness of the razor, of the Bulldog razor, and also just not being accustomed to it. Like, I'm pretty sure if I had that in the Aristocrat, it'd be another great shave. Okay, so let's finish up with a bit of aftershave. Just give it another shake for luck. Now, I've really enjoyed this aftershave before. It's not oily at all. And it dries off beautifully. Leaves a nice mint scent behind. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a bit on the go sort of thing. So, as I said, click on the links in the description about the Battle of Longtown. Just have a bit more in-depth read, and especially if you're not Australian, from elsewhere around the world, it's probably a battle that you really know nothing about, and that's how life is. Your own country talks about their military situations, wins, losses, etc. And this is one of Australia's against the odds sort of battle. Okay, we'll leave it for now. I've got an unboxing coming up during the week, and then what am I going to do? Yeah, no idea what I'm going to do for Friday, so we'll cross that bridge when it rocks up. Okay, enjoy your week, work hard, and be good. Ciao for now.